In lesson 13, our objective is that we are able to use inequalities to make statements about real-world situations. In order to remember this, I need you to go ahead and write down these inequality symbols. You have a greater than. You use this symbol when they ask you to go from greatest to least. And then you have a less than symbol. And this is when you go from least to greatest. All right, so our first question, it's a $25 credit and a $25 charge appear similar, yet they are very different. So a credit is positive, so that would be 25. And then a charge is negative, so that'd be a negative 25. So 25 and negative 25 are the same distance from 0. Now, how are they different? They're opposites from each other. One is positive, one is negative. Now, what we're going to be doing for the rest of them is you're just going to be putting these numbers in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. So your first step is to write the temperatures as an integer or as a rational number. So right here, use rational numbers and then order them from least to greatest. So again, if you look up at the top where we wrote things down, least to greatest would be a less than. So you can just write that less than down. And then we have to write these. Below 0 is negative. That remains the same. Above is positive. Below is negative. And then we have to put them in order from least to greatest. Now, there are a couple ways that you can do this. You can make a number line. And you could count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And then negatives, it would be the exact same numbers, just this way. And then we just plot the points, and least to greatest would go left to right. So I have a negative 8, a positive 12, negative 4, negative 13. So a negative 13 would be between my 12 and 14, so I just added that in. I have a 0, a 2, a negative 6, and a negative 5. And then we just have to go least to greatest, which is left to right. So my first point is a negative 13 is less than, negative 8 is less than, negative 6 is less than, negative 5, less than negative 4, less than 0, less than 2, and then my last number is 12. And that would be your inequality representing these temperatures in a real-world situation. Number 2, here at the top, it talks about debit and credit and charge. So we have a debit is negative, credit is positive, a charge is negative, a withdrawal is negative, a deposit is positive, a debit is negative, and a charge is negative. And least to greatest, we look at, or we have to find what they're asking us to do. So it says greatest to least, so we're going to look at our largest number with the most value. First, I look at my positive numbers. I just have a 4 and a 5, and the 5 would be greatest. and greater than, because it's greatest to least. And then I go to my next positive number, which is 408, is greater than, so now I have to go into my negatives. On the number line, since we're going right to left, we're looking at which number would come closest to 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Let's use that as a starting point. So if I'm looking at my numbers, so I've already done my positive numbers, so now I'm looking at my negatives. I have a 1220, which is going to be all the way down here somewhere. I have a negative $1.50, so I have to go to a dollar. Here would be my negative $1.50. I have a negative 20, which is going to be even further this way, because it's going to be further away than 12. I have a negative $3.95, which is almost $4. And then I have a negative 3. And if we're doing greatest to least, we're going right to left on the number line. So I already have my positive, so I'm starting here on the right, going to keep going. Negative $1.50 is first, which is greater than the negative 3, which is greater than my negative $3.95, which is greater than my negative $12.20, which is greater than my negative 20. Now, what you have to do is you need to complete 3 and 4 and have me check those. I'm going to do, actually I'd like you to do example 2 on your own as well. So I'm going to have you do 3, 4, and example 2. When you have those done, have me check them, and I will move you on to the exit.